In Season 2, Episode 4, we are introduced to Speedy Panda. The Speedy Panda store challenges Pigsy's Noodles to the food wars, and it is revealed that Jin and Yin are the owners of Speedy Panda.
Speedy Panda Convenience Mart, and its owners, these guys!
And at the end of the episode, it is revealed that Speedy Panda is now bankrupt because Jin and Yin spent all the company's money on a panda mech.
What, you spent all your profits on that panda mech? We ain't got enough money to pay our drivers. Speedy Panda is bankrupt.
However, is that all there is to Speedy Panda? Speedy Panda actually appears many times in the LEGO sets, despite only appearing once in the show. And these sets reveal a bit more about Speedy Panda's ownership. The first set that Speedy Panda appears in is Red Sun's Inferno Truck. There is a little Speedy Panda store, and we see this guy inside. But who is he? The set says his name is Lee, and the set description says that he is the owner of Speedy Panda. But aren't Jin and Yin the owners? Well, I think that it is obvious that they didn't create this company because of how awful their cooking is, and how they said their goal in regards to Speedy Panda is to bankrupt Pigsy's Noodles so they can ruin MK's life. And it seems that Lee is definitely the proper owner. And I say this because of the Monkie Kids Team Hideout set. This is a Season 4 set. And, as we know, most of Season 4 takes place in the scroll, in past memories. And this set certainly looks like it takes place in the past. In this set, there is a panda stall. This stall has a sign with Chinese writing on it, and the writing translates to panda food. This stall also uses the same brand colours as Speedy Panda. However, this stall isn't called Speedy Panda in the set description, and its logo is similar to the Speedy Panda logo, although not exactly the same. Since the hideout set clearly seems to take place in the past, this panda stall is likely an early version of Speedy Panda. Anyway, in the hideout set, there is a woman called Lee, and the set description says that she is a panda stall keeper. So, in the past, we have a woman called Lee who runs a panda stall. And then hundreds of years later, we have a man called Lee who runs the Speedy Panda company. I think that this panda stall eventually evolved into the Speedy Panda store, and the reason that these two characters have the same name is because the female Lee is the ancestor of the male Lee, and the male Lee must have inherited the Speedy Panda franchise. So, Speedy Panda was a family-run business, until Jin and Yin took over. We don't know how they took over, but they must have either bought it or forcibly taken it. Now, Lee is named as the owner of Speedy Panda in this set, but the next time Speedy Panda shows up in the sets, it is in the Pigsy's Noodle Tank set. Lee is still in this set, but there is also another character in this set called Pan. And the set description says Pan is the owner of Speedy Panda. This is despite Lee being said to be the owner of Speedy Panda in the previous set. We know that Jin and Yin acquired ownership of Speedy Panda and bankrupted the company. So perhaps this new guy, Pan, bought the company from Jin and Yin. And now the original owner, Lee, was only able to get a job as the company's mascot, which is pretty sad, especially since, as I deduced from this set, Speedy Panda was a family business that was passed down to him. Also, At the end of the Season 4 special, Sun Wukong bought Speedy Panda branded popsicles, which supports the idea that someone bought the company and brought it out of bankruptcy. A Speedy Panda store also appears in the City of Lanterns set. And in the Megapolis City 5th Anniversary set, another character called Lee appears. Compared to these previous Lees, he has a different hairstyle and no glasses. However, I think he is supposed to be the same character. They are wearing the same outfit. I know that you cannot see the collar of the shirt on the new Lee, but I checked on Bricklink and it is the exact same shirt. We can also see that the mascot version of Lee is wearing that same shirt underneath his costume. This could just be a standard Speedy Panda uniform, especially as it is the same shirt as the one in the Speedy Panda logo. But Lee is the only character who has ever worn this shirt, at least in the Monkie Kid sets. There actually are a bunch of other minifigures that use this shirt piece, but none of these figures are from the Monkie Kid sets. Lee being the only Monkie Kid character to wear this shirt is significant because he was wearing it when he was the owner. He wore it underneath his mascot costume when he wasn't the owner, and the new owner didn't wear the shirt. So it's not like this shirt was the uniform for the owner to wear. It could be that this shirt is not a uniform at all, and it is just a shirt that only Lee wears because it is the same as the shirt in the logo. And because Speedy Panda was his family's business, he wanted to wear that shirt. Anyway, assuming these are all the same guy, it seems that Lee has gotten his life together a bit. He is no longer working as a mascot, and he didn't really look like he enjoyed being a mascot. And he's got a new clean hairstyle, and maybe he's wearing contact lenses, or got corrective eye surgery. He seems to still be working for Speedy Panda, hence the Speedy Panda drone, but he appears to be working as a delivery guy, based on how he is holding a phone and carrying a bunch of food. He's still lost his family business, but he is now a delivery guy, which seems to be a step up from being the mascot. Anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to check out my Etsy, and feel free to like and subscribe.